know that we all went to, that's really dark, isn't it? Let's turn it around the other way.
It's not dark.
Let's turn this way. And that's better. There we go. We're in our bedroom. So we went to GoPro on the weekend, and it was amazing. So we thought tonight we would share and get the team that went to share their takeaways and some of the sections of GoPro from Eric Worre. And just a bit of background, I suppose. Eric Worre, how long has he been around for? 30 years he's been doing network marketing for?
Yeah, I think late 70s he started. 79, I think. So
he knows a thing or two. And most of you have probably read or listened to GoPro because it's the Bible of network marketing. And I know that when we first got started, that was the first thing we read that was different to Isogenics. So I think tonight it'll be amazing to hear from the team just what some of the key takeaways were, some of the sections, and then we've got some exciting stuff to announce afterwards, haven't we?
We do.
So who wants to go first? We haven't sort of set any structure around who's sharing, but whoever wants to go first can unmute themselves and go for it.
Hands up if you don't know Eric Worre.
Who's that?
Okay, so you got Leonie, don't know Eric Worre. Okay, awesome. Look up GoPro by Eric Worre and you can download his audio. You can have a look at his book. You can get his book online, but you know this is the guy who we went and spent 2 days being trained by. So that's what you're going to hear tonight. So,
and I think it's probably important to say that it wasn't an Isogenics event, so it was something separate to Isogenics and all around network marketing, and all of the top income leaders and teams came together from all different companies. So it was really exciting to see leaders from all different organisations. We didn't know who they were. We weren't allowed to have anything related to Isogenics on us. We weren't allowed to network, we weren't allowed to talk about our product. So it was amazing because we just listened to people talk about how they run their businesses. Okay. So go for it. Whoever wants to unmute.
Well, maybe I'll start, Rach, because I'm on skill number 1.
Beautiful. Go for it, Jo.
Cool. So I'm going to just share with you around highlights for finding prospects. So this is Eric Worre's skill number 1. And it's not, I guess, just at the highest level, there wasn't a whole lot of new stuff that you might not have heard before, but I just think that the way he described the intention behind everything that he did, his awareness, and almost the intensity by which he spoke with people. And I'll give you a bit of an example as I go through. So the first thing is obviously that he described was creating your list, going through your phone contacts, your email contacts, and everyone you know on social media, and consolidating those into one master list. And then going through each of those people on that master list and asking yourself, who do they know that you might know? So really are trying to identify friends of friends on that list. And then the next step is to keep expanding this list. So this is something that he suggests you need to get into the practice of doing every day. He suggested 2 people a day to adding the list. And these were people that he described just that you're going to meet every day. So as you're going around on your daily activities, meet people, find a way to get their contact details, and find a way to stay in touch with them. So start a conversation and keep in touch with them. And do 2 people every day. And he described, this is where he sort of talked about, intention and awareness, that once you start looking out and being aware that you want to connect with people, you'll actually find those situations just coming up more and more naturally, and you'll just find it happening more and more easily. And so really just being aware and being open to that. He described using groups on Facebook or on social media to help expand your list as well. So he asked everyone to write down a list of all of the things that they like to do outside of network marketing, and then go into groups that are specific to those activities, and then making friends on those groups and adding them to your list as well. So then from your master list that you're adding to every day, that you're just, you know, being aware of meeting people and getting contact details throughout your daily life, you create a target list of 30 people. There's 10 people, the first 10 he described as your hot market, and they're people that love you, that want to support you, and that, you know, are really going to be there for you and are going to be great priority sort of prospects for you. Then he suggested the next 10 is the list of the easiest customer prospects. So this is going through again your master list and identifying who really needs the products, who really has money problems, who's indebted to you, and who wants to support you. So, you know, who are the people that are likely to get on board because they really have a need for the products, or a need for more money, or just want to support you. And then he described the third 10 as the easiest business prospects. So this 10 are people that are hungry, people that are competitive, can afford to join. These people trust you and want to work with you. They're entrepreneurial and they're dissatisfied with their current situation. So that then gives you this priority list of 30 people that you then start contacting. So that takes you into the second skill, which is inviting. But one of the points that he really sort of drilled home in one of the examples was in relation to the business prospects. He talked about going out to people like your real estate agents, maybe your insurance broker, your accountant. And he gave an example of how strong he was with his, I think it was his accountant. And he basically says to his accountant, you know, that he has supported his accountant, or no, it was an insurance broker, supported the insurance broker, used their services, and really the insurance broker needed to do the same and to get on board with what Eric was selling. So he was, you know, basically saying, if the insurance broker wasn't prepared to try his products for 30 days after being with the insurance broker for a number of years, that he would take his business elsewhere. So I think, to me, that really struck home just the power and the intensity and the intention that Eric had, you know, behind his prospecting. It was really powerful, and it's something that, you know, certainly I'll have to work up to, but it was really powerful.
Awesome. Thanks, Joe. And I love that. He's got that posture, hasn't he? He's got absolute belief in whatever that product was he was promoting, himself, network marketing, you know, that full belief. So he was able to go and do that because he'd done all this work prior and personal development prior to getting to that point. So yeah, well done, Joe. Who wants to go next?
Is anybody doing inviting or presenting? If not, I'll move on to follow up and closing.
Rach, you doing inviting? Put your hand up.
Probably not right now.
Sean, go for it. Do follow up.
Okay, I'll jump straight into follow up then. So as Joe mentioned, a lot of the information that we got out of the weekend was great. We'd heard a lot of it before, but there was lots of new tips. But I just wanted to start off by saying it goes to show how amazing the training is, not only with Isogenics, but also with the guys here within our team, because so much of the stuff that I was hearing over the weekend, I'd heard before, and even whether it just be on our Monday night training calls or at an Isogenics event. So it made me feel really proud that I was a part of the Isogenics community, and it also made me feel like this is definitely the right company for us to be with. So I just kind of wanted to start off by saying that. But when we started talking about follow-up, as we've all heard before, it takes people quite a while to actually take action before they see, after they've seen something. So it might take people, 4 to 7 exposures or posts or messages or sending them a tool before they actually decide to say yes or to take any action. And quite often it can take around 500 to 100 impressions on social media before people take action as well. So remember, guys, it's great when you're posting on your social media all the time and being consistent with that, but that's not enough, because it would really take 50 posts before someone might come to you and say, hey, what are you doing? I'm interested in giving it a go. So it's important to make sure that you constantly keep in touch with all of your connections. Keep that conversation going. Once you've started the conversation with a new connection, make sure that there's always something that you're following up with them about. And so if you send them a tool or a video, make sure that you're setting that appointment to touch base with them again once they've had a chance to watch that video. So that way you can always ensure that you're constantly keeping the conversation going and they're not dropping off. So what we started talking about then was also people saying no. So when they say no, it's not necessarily no forever. It's maybe no for not right now, but it could just be that there's an objection there that you haven't picked up. So I think that objections, and Eric Worre said, objections are good as they give you the opportunity to build rapport with people and really get a deeper understanding of what their pain points are. So there's 2 different categories of objections. The first is people have a limiting belief in themselves. So it may be that they think they have no time, they think that they're introverted, so they couldn't go out and do this business, they've not got enough willpower to follow the nutrition program, or they just don't think that they have enough friends or connections to actually make a go of this. And then the other type of objection is a limiting belief in network marketing that we all know that we have to work through quite a bit. So people might think it's a pyramid scheme, or they've heard or had bad experiences before with network marketing or MLM. And so some of those other reasons for objections that we might run into is that people just need more information or more clarity. So they could be saying no just because they don't understand, so really educating people. They might be afraid of looking silly or getting embarrassed. So they might think, their friends might think that they're doing something crazy if they go ahead and join up with you. They might be scared of failing, or they might feel like they can't follow through with a program for 30 days. And sometimes all of these objections can really just be a manifestation of the doubts and issues that they have with their own self-image. So it's really worthwhile digging down and finding what people's pain points are to help move through those objections. So there's a 4-step system that Eric has to get past objections. So I'll just go through that quickly with you now. So the first step really is about listening. Understand where people are at. Why are they saying no, or what is the reasoning behind why they can't move forward? And really listen. Don't just do that whole I'm pretending to listen while I'm getting the next question ready to go. It's about really making sure you're understanding where they're at. The next step is to relate. And a good way that we've been taught before to relate to people is using feel, felt, found. So I understand exactly how you feel. I felt the same way before I got started, but I found blah, 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 blah. And as soon as you start to relate to them, they'll feel a little bit more comfortable because they know that you might have been through that same thought process as they have as well. And then the next step is to tell stories. So we've all had a lot of practice now with our 30-second stories. So it's really about making sure that people know that you've got a story that relates to them. So if you're talking to someone and you know that your story doesn't match with where they're at, then use somebody else's story. So if it's a business story and it's about earning income and you feel that you're not quite there yet, then use, Rach and Greg or Rach Pedretti and use their income story or their business story to help relate to these people. And then the 4th one is using the sentence, if I, would you? So if someone's issue was around not having enough time to do the business, just basically saying to them, if I could show you a way to do this in the time that you have available each week, would you be willing to take a look at more information? And it's a really great way to keep moving people through the conversation. So that's really follow up. And then I'm just going to go straight into closing because it's basically the next step. So when people have had an exposure to, whether it be a tool like a video or an event, or, you know, they've come to a sip and sample, or you've sent them a link to something, a lot of the time we think about going back to them and saying, what did you think? But really, that's the worst thing we can say, because it opens it up to objections and it opens people up to negative feedback, which is what we're trying to avoid. So instead of saying, what did you think? Try asking them, what did you like best? So, you know, if you've sent them the Mary Evans video, just cleanse, what did you like best about that? Or what do you think would be great about the system? Or if it's, you know, transform your life and it's a business one, what was working for you when you were watching that video? And that really takes you into then the 6-step closing system that Eric Worre had. So the first step of that is, what did you like best after the tool? And I'm going to use an example here that's based around the business or the opportunity, so that you can really understand how this system works. So after asking what they like best, the next step is then to ask, on a scale from 1 to 10, with 1 being no interest whatsoever and 10 being let's get started, how do you feel about the opportunity? And, you know, people could come back, you don't really know where they're going to land, but if they've come back with things they like best that are pretty good, then you know that you're in pretty good stead. And he said anything over a 7 generally means that they're going to get started with you. It might just be working through some objections. The next step is then to say to them, hypothetically, if you were to get started, approximately how much time or how much money would you need to make each month to make it worth your time? So people might come back and say, you know what, I need to make $5,000 a month to make this business worth my time. Okay, great. And how many hours per week, realistically, could you invest in your business to make $5,000 a month? And that's when you give them the opportunity to think about what they're doing now for work, if they're at home with kids or whatever, and go, okay, well, you know what, I might be able to put aside 15 hours a week to make that happen. And then the next step is to say to them, okay, and understanding that it might take you a while to get your business going, how many months would you be willing to work for 15 hours a week to make $5,000 a month? And then this is where they give you a gauge of really how much they're willing to invest in starting up a business for themselves. And you'd hope that it would be something more than 1 month, because really that shows there's not a lot of commitment happening. So when they give you that time frame, the last step is, so if I could show you how to earn $5,000 a month, working 15 hours per week over the next 6 months, let's just say, would you be willing to take a look? And it's as simple as that. You've basically said that you can show them how to get the money they want in the time they have available to spend over the duration of months to get there. And it should be a pretty easy way to get people started and ready to go from there. So the only last thing to think about then is be careful about projecting your thoughts about what they may think onto them. So a lot of the time in the past, I've thought, you know what, they don't actually need the extra money. So you don't really go to the effort of going through you share, they share, or taking those steps to talk about the business. But try very hard not to make assumptions about where people are at. And then the other thing is about when you start having these conversations with people and it might revolve around the business, be careful not to push too much on their why or their vision. Like we do a lot of work in here in Isogenics on our visions and our whys and growing them. But people that haven't experienced that before, it can be quite daunting. And for them, their why might just be to get the money back on their 30-day pack to start with. And that's cool. So don't push it too hard and make them think that they need this massive big why as to why they would get started with the business. And that's about it from me.
Awesome, Fawn. Love that. Thank you so much.
We forgot the dance for Joe. Sorry, Joe. You did amazing.
Hey, just quickly, guys. Hands up if you wrote that down. Awesome. Okay. And hands up if you feel like this is an area that you need to improve on in your business.
Closing
Closing
the sale.
this 6-step process was absolutely mind-blowing, and Fawn's done an incredible job to explain that.
So good.
But I guarantee you, if you write those 6 steps down, and we'll quickly go through it again. Step 1, what did you like best? Never ever say, what did you think? Because if you ask someone, what do you think? They'll then become a critic and they'll give you 4 negative responses. So what did you like best? Step 1. On a scale of 1 to 10, how interested are you in getting started in this opportunity? So that's step 2. Write that down. Step 3. Hypothetically, if you got started in this business part-time, what would be the number you need to earn per month to make this happen for you? So that's step 3. Step 4, how many hours realistically a week can you invest in making this happen? Step 5, how many months are you prepared to do this for? And then step 6, if I would you. So if I could show you how to earn $5,000 a month, part-time, 10 hours a week, for the next 6 months, would you be prepared to invest in that? If you go through those 6 steps.
If someone's written these down, they can post it on Team Empowered, by the way.
Because the one thing about these Monday night calls is it's great to get on them, but if you're not jotting down information and absorbing and then applying, it's great, but it's like watching a movie.
See what's on there.
Hey, Rach,
read out.
you're unmuted. So understand that when you get on these Monday night calls, this is your business training for the week. Jot it down, apply it. Jot it down, apply it. That's the one thing that I got from Eric Warre was the fact of, this is not a movie. So when we were sitting there at the event, he's like, this is not a movie. This is not a show that you go and watch. This is for you as network marketing professionals to absorb yourself for 2 days to grow and learn and develop. So that's exactly the same as what we've got to look at with these Monday night calls.
Exactly the same.
Is that if you embed yourself in this hour for the week and you take down some notes and you apply it, you are going to get closer and closer towards your goals. If you sit there like it's a movie and go, oh, it's all right, I'll watch the replay, and don't take down any notes and don't absorb it, then you'll find yourself going around and around in circles because you're not going to take in the information. So, well done, Fawn.
Thanks,
Loved
Fawn. It was awesome. Who's up next?
I'm happy to talk a little bit about some notes I took about duplication.
Perfect. Thanks, Nina.
So, firstly, I found the weekend absolutely mind-blowing and worth every dollar of investment to fly up, pay for accommodation, food, tickets, but the time spent for 2 full-on days, and it was full-on, wasn't it? It was like exhausting in some ways, sitting there for so long, just trying to soak in as much as possible. But the other amazing thing was just spending time with you guys all together, talking, brainstorming, gleaning inspiration from fellow people. So, next time there's an opportunity to do something like that, put away a little bit of money if you have to fly somewhere to these events, because it changes your life, it changes your world. And for me, just personally sitting there seeing how many were there, about 1,200, 1,000 people. Network marketing is all other companies, and we're all learning to do the same basic fundamental things that we hear over and over again, but eventually the penny drops and and you can start making powerful changes in your life. So a little bit of I took a few notes on duplication, which I thought was really interesting, because one of the first things he said was that without duplication, you're just doing another job. You're just finding customers and you just got another job. The power, you can physically only do so much yourself, but the power is in leveraging your time, leveraging your network, and leveraging other people's networks in many ways besides just the income. It's their time, their friends. It's not who you know, it's who do you know, who they know, and so forth. So there were a couple of things that he pointed out was in terms of duplication was retention. keeping them and duplicating. So getting them to keep acting when you're not working, or doubling your time. So 2 or 3 or 4 or 10-fold is happening while you're doing one thing. 10 other people are doing the same thing. But one of the interesting things that he did point out was a bit of a statistic that if from somebody's start date, and this demonstrates how important it is, and it's a big lesson for me in terms of getting your people paid as fast as you can. And we have an amazing system to get people paid straight away. Like next week, they can have money in their account, or in 2 weeks' time once the first cycle starts happening. But he was saying that in 6 months' time from their start date, if they have not been paid a single cent, only 20% stay. So then you have to find new people all over again. So, but even if they've earned at least $1 or 10, but he was using an example of $1, after 6 months, 74% stay. 74 goes from 20% to 74%, just even if it's a little bit of money. People go on strike for unions for like a dollar an hour or 50 cent an hour pay rise. So it's actually very powerful. And then from then on, it's like every 90-day blocks, just getting them to keep staying for the next 90 days. And if you can duplicate that, then you're going to have a really powerful network and organisation. And one of the other things that he was talking about was, in terms of duplication, was I wrote some notes. He wrote 3 things. 1, it has to be simple for other people to do. It can't be complicated. They have to think, I think this will work. So the first thing is, this is simple. I think this will work, and I think I could do it. So if you've got those 3 things going, you're going to be able to duplicate yourself. If you make it look really complicated, or if someone's really good at sales and talking and doing the whole thing, somebody else will sit there and say, oh, I can't do that. That's too hard for me. I wouldn't be able to do that. You're going to make it really easy. And that's the power of the 3-way calls. I don't know. Hang on, let me just get Rachel on the phone. She knows everything. Even if I can answer the question, I don't know. Look, hang on. I know someone who's been doing it longer. I'll just get her on the phone. And guess what they're going to do? Duplicate the same thing. They're going to be calling you for the 3-way call. So that was really, really interesting, just duplicating and making sure that you're keeping people and getting them paid as soon as you can, because the retention stays from 20% up to 74%. Otherwise, you just don't have the job. So duplication is really important. So that was really, really a strong impression on me. And then he also covered off within that a DMO, a daily method of operation, which was a basic framework of use the product. It sounds obvious, but if you can use the product in public or around other people, use it around other people. Share the product, share the business, do personal development every single day, and promote events. And so if somebody's here going to be talking about events, I'll leave that up to them. But those 5 things to do every single day shouldn't take all that long and should be able to fit in everybody's lifestyle, whether you're busy or not busy. So that's my takeaways from the event. And if you get an opportunity to go again to something like that, I strongly urge you to do it.
Yeah, that was so good, Nina. Thank you so much. Amazing. Hey, just quickly on events, guys, this was mind-blowing. How much do you think that you earn from each person that you take to an event? Hands up if you think $100. Hands up if you think $500. This is for the year. Hands up if you think 1,000. Okay. So it's $1,000 roughly, right? If you take them to a global, it's more. But if you want to earn $100,000 a year in this business, then you need to take 100 people to Celebration next year. And I want you guys to think about that. Every single one of you can have 100 people there next year. Every single one of you. So what you've got to look at is the next event, promoting the next event. What is your next event on your calendar? For us, it's SKO, 15th of September. Okay. What is your next event and how many people are you taking? I want you to write down on a piece of paper now how many people you're going to be taking to SKO on the 15th of September. Does anyone want to share their number? Hands up if you've got 5. Hands up if you've got 10. 20? Okay, Rachel's got 20. All right. What I want you to do is I want you to double that number. So just double that. Whatever that number is on your piece of paper, just double it. Because one of the strategies that Eric talked about was leveraging the people inside of your team. So if you have 5 people, let's say you have 10 people inside your team, you want to make sure whether they're inactive or active, you want to make sure you call each and every one of them and say, would they be open to coming along to an event with you? Now, if you get a buy-in from, let's say, 5 of those people, awesome. What you need to do is speak to those 5 and see if they can at least bring 2 people each. All right, imagine if you could bring 5 who then brings 2 people each, you've got 15. So you don't have to think about you've got to bring 20 or you've got to bring 30. You've got to leverage your business, okay? So if you want to earn $100,000 a year plus in this business, hands up if you want to earn $100,000 plus a year. Brookie, that looks like really like, are you really excited?
I'm not sure, but
Yeah, Brooke is. So
straight up.
Think of events. Because he goes, this is cheating. He goes, this is cheating, guys.
I think, and also the whole time we were there, he just kept saying we're all playing too small. You know, Kylie Donaldson's playing too small. She's earning $2 million a year and she's playing too small. Okay, what does that say about us? That was the theme, wasn't it?
Yeah. So the thing is, think about 100 people at Celebration. Now, you may not get to 100. You may get to 25. And then the following year, you get to 75. And the following year, you're at 100, right? But you've got to have somewhere written 100 people at Celebration to make 6 figures a year. I think what we get too caught up in is we get ourselves to the event and we're like, awesome, I can't wait to get filled up. I'm going to learn so much. But reality is, if you want to build a business, you have to take people to events. It's the #1 skill in network marketing. So have a goal. How many people are you taking to SKO? And double it. All right.
So, Amanda, did you want to share your piece, honey?
Hey. Okay, so I'm going to be covering Linda Evidence. So she spoke to us about wearing different hats, the different roles in our lives. And she also spoke a little bit about asking better questions too. So is there anyone in the call who gets a little bit flustered with trying to do everything at once? Because I certainly do. Being a mum, a wife, I work part-time as well, running the household, like all of those things. Yeah, it just kind of gets a bit overwhelming sometimes, especially trying to run the business too. So each day we have all different roles to play. Yeah, so trying to manage all of that is definitely overwhelming. And what Linda taught us was to become aware of all of our different roles that we have. And once we're aware of them, we need to step into that role and give 100% of our attention at that time. She did like a hat analogy. So she put on a different hat for each role of her life. So for me, when I'm with my girls, my mama bear hat gets put on. And then I'm there 100% with them. And then when my babies go down to bed of a night time, that's when my business cap comes on. And that's when I do my work. I go to work. And then once I've taken care of business, my wifey hat comes on. And then that's when Ben and I sit down and I'm wifey. So, yeah, she just really said how important that was to distinguish all the different ones and to just be there 100% in each individual one. So, yeah. So she also said in doing this biz, you have to become a master asker. So we really need to ask quality questions in order to uncover a person's real need. So some other tips that we got from Linda was ask yourself this question: who do I need to become to be successful in this business? So that was a great one, that we should all answer for ourselves. Also, stop caring about me and ask about them. So everybody in your team, make it about them and stop, thinking about ourselves. What is my outcome for the next 30 minutes? I really loved this one. So basically having a look at that and then just switching on your laser vision and then don't let anything come in your way, and just in that 30 minutes, you just get that task done. So breaking it down like that just really, for me anyway, I think that's going to be huge. And then be a dream keeper. So reminding people of their dreams and inspiring them. And when you get, the shutdown answers of no and all of that, at the end of that, she mentioned one question you could say, and it's, well, what if you could? And then just leaving it at that. And that's kind of planting a seed in them, and it kind of ignites something, and then, lets them dream a little and go, well, what if I could? So, that was all that I had for that one.
Well done, Amanda.
Amazing work. That's so good. Who would love to ask better questions? Let's face it. Yeah. I love that so much, Amanda. Thank you so much for sharing. There was one thing I was going to just quickly share there. One sec. So write down on your piece of paper now, what do you really want out of Isogenics? Just write down, what do you want? And then what I want you to write next to that is, what will that give you when you achieve it? Now what I want you to do is underneath those two, put a big circle. I want you to write inside that circle, what is preventing you right now from having that? Now what I want you to do is I want you to put a massive cross. I want you to put a massive cross inside that circle on whatever is preventing you, because that's the thing that you need to get rid of right now in your life in order for that goal, achievement, what you want out of Isogenics to show up. Does that make sense? What do you want out of Isogenics? What is it going to give you? And then put in a circle, what is preventing you from having that? It could be a relationship.
You get someone to share?
I'd love someone to share. Give you an idea, it could be a relationship. It could be the fact that you're watching too much Netflix. It could be the fact that you're not cleansing regularly enough. It could be the fact that you're not talking to anyone. What is the thing that's preventing you? I'd love to hear someone, what do they want out of Isagenix? What will they give them? And what's preventing them from happening?
Just unmute if you want to share.
How's it going, guys? James here.
James.
Hey, James.
Hey, bud.
So I'm new to the calls. I haven't really shown up before. So yeah, I'll just share a few things. I was going to cover some of the stats, but they've already been talked about. But just in terms of what I want from Isagenix, it's definitely more time with my family. That's my why, because my family lives on the other side of the world. So if something happened, I mean, can I just pack up and go tomorrow? I could, but it would leave me in a really crap place because I have a mortgage and all those things. So it would make it really difficult. So I was just laughing to myself. Greg, you said put in the circle, what's stopping you? And I actually wrote nothing and me. So it's not that I need to get rid of something. It's that I need to change, which is what Eric is getting at. You know, it's like we need to change. We need to become better. So I don't actually need to actually do anything. I just need to change myself and point myself in a better direction and just do it. Yeah. So that's it's about change as opposed to taking something away. You know, it's like a lifestyle. A lot of people think, oh, you know, we need to get rid of this. It's a lot of the time it's about adding something. So Eric was saying, you know, you have to add personal development if you want to grow, if you want to get better. So for me, I just need to add things as opposed to taking things away. It mightn't be like that for everyone, but I'm just trying to highlight that we need to change as well, as opposed to just getting rid of an obstacle.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. Can you jot down for me or tell me one thing that you need to do? What's one action step, one IPA thing that you need to do starting today that's going to move you closer to being able to spend more time with your family? Because reality is,
yeah, I started today already. So I just need to take action and keep accountable. So I didn't set myself a massive goal. I just said, okay, for this week, I'm just going to invite one person. I need to invite one person a day to look. I'm not going to say 5. I'm not going to say 10. I'm going to start with one small goal. So I did that today, and I've already set up a meeting. So yeah, so I had an Uber driver today. I extracted his pain point. His family live in India, and got his number. And I'm going to meet up with him to try and show him how we can get to that number this week.
I love that.
And he's going to bring some mates. You know, his family are living over there. He's here. And yeah, just common ground. We both had families that live in different countries, so I was able to have that conversation. But just before I finish, I just want to just add one thing on the importance of follow-ups. Nothing from the event, just from a personal point of view. You know, I joined 3 years ago, and I've never done anything with the business. And Rachel and Jared, if I have to be honest, they have been following up with me all the time. What are you doing? Are you ready? Are you coming to the events? It just goes to show you that, you know, they weren't annoying me. It's 3 years later they followed up on me. They've been following up, and now I'm ready. You know, so never stop following up with people, because to be honest, if they had stopped following up with me, I probably wouldn't be ready now, and I'd miss out on the opportunity. So it's really important. Yeah.
That's gold. Let's give him a round of applause. That's awesome. Thank you so much for sharing, mate, because it does, you know, it takes a lot to really pour it out. Anyone else want to share? Because I think there's one more question there, which is, what are 1 or 2 things that you can do today in order to move yourself towards that goal that you're searching for in Isagenix? And I'll tell you one thing, if you can use those questions with every single person in your team, man, will that open up some amazing ways for you to be able to help them move towards their goal. Anyone else want to share? What do they want?
Sure, Greg, I will.
Go for it, Tremaine.
Okay, so I mean, I suppose I can relate to what was just said, because I have also been using the products for coming up 3 years this year, and yes, I get to events and everything like that, but there's just something that there's a missing link happening somewhere. and a lot of it is me. And I know what's important to me is to have time with my family, and to have the flexibility to be able to move between Canada and Australia. So that's something that's, especially after being there last month, it's even hit home even more. So there's a lot of, I'm not connecting with people, and the action steps that I can take is to share my story, because I've had a really incredible time with these products. So I really just need to share my story more with people. I've finally mastered that with Urena. Sent her my last audio today. So I will be contacting 3 people every single day to share my story, and then to follow up. And it's all written and it's done and it starts.
Awesome. Love it. Well done. You're around applause. That's awesome. It's amazing. Thank you so much, Tremaine. You know, because one thing I learned from Eric this week was pretty cool. He said that there's like this time between when people are what's called floundering to then exploding, and it's about 3 to 4 years. And I felt like that was pretty cool, you know, because like James just said, if they didn't, you know, if Jared and Rach didn't keep following up with him, he's 3 years in and now he's ready to go explode it. Same as you, Tremaine. Okay. Love your work. Anyone else want to share, or did anyone else have anything from the week?
I will, Greg. I will share what I'm feeling. Is that
Sure.
okay?
100%.
I just feel as if I'm not making this a priority, and that's probably my downfall. I need to focus and make this more of a priority and commit to it every day, not in bursts and spouts. So that's what's letting me down. I believe in the products. I've had phenomenal results. I'm not talking to as many people as I'd like, but I guess it's just having to make this a priority to make a change in my life long term.
Yeah, that's awesome. And what's one thing you're going to do, Violetta, that's going to move you towards that goal? What action step are you going to take?
Well, I was just thinking about that. I was really just thinking about what am I going to do? I really have to master my story. That's probably what I have to do. I don't have that mastered.
Okay, good. Let's say it takes you 6 months to master your story. Do you think mastering your story is going to move you closer to your goal right now? What do you think you need to do to move yourself to that goal?
It's got to be talking to people. I've just have to talk to people.
Yeah.
And failing forward. Just failing forward. You don't have to get it perfect. You just have to do it. And it's going to get better and better every time you do it. And it's going to change. It's going to be different with different people. So it's just doing the action.
Yeah, I love that. Now, I want to give you one thing that I got out of Eric Worre that completely changed the game for me. And it's called primary versus secondary. I want you to write this down. I want you to write primary and secondary on your piece of paper. This was like happened within the first hour of us being there on day one. I was like, I can go home now. So I'm sitting there going, okay, what's this primary, secondary thing? I'm like, all right. And then it hit me. Eric Worre said, and I want you guys to write this down, your primary and your secondary. And I want you to write down next to primary, I want you to write down, is it your full-time job or is it Isogenics that is your primary focus every single day? Now, what that means is that when you've had a big day and you get home and you're tired, do you still contact 3 people a day? Or are you focused on work and trying to get ready for your job the next day? Doesn't matter. If your primary focus is your job, that's totally okay. But I want you to be completely honest with this because it's going to make a huge difference to you if you're honest. Don't just write Isogenics because you want it to be your primary. Write down exactly what it is. Full-time job, primary focus, and then what is your secondary focus? Is it Isogenics or is it your full-time job? Okay. want you to write
It
that
might
down.
not be job. It might be something else.
Yeah, it might be family.
It might be family. It might be your hobby. It might be fitness, whatever it might be. But what do you do when you're just at that moment where you're tired and you just...
What is your main focus every day? Okay. All right. Here is the kicker. Whatever your secondary focus is, your subconscious mind will work its ass off to destroy it. And I was like, wow. Like the biggest wow of all time. If your job is your primary focus, your subconscious mind will do whatever it can to dismantle your Isogenics business. And I was like, holy moly. And for the first time, I could actually understand how, and I'll use an example, how Rach and I went from me working 7 days a week in 3 jobs to then not working again in a full-time job, is because what happened was when we started, I was so exhausted in my job that our primary focus was Isogenics. I went to work to pay the bills, but I did not give it 100% anymore. I only gave it about 75% mental capacity because I needed a reserve to be able to focus primarily on Isogenics. And I guarantee you, if your primary focus is your job, Isogenics subconsciously will be dismantled.
And we lived and breathed it.
And that is the game changer.
More than Isogenics.
So from now on, when I'm working with people, from now on, I'm going to ask them that straight out. If they, like every one of you on this call, I know you guys want to build this business. I know it. I know you want to build an exceptional business to have more time, more freedom, work less, whatever. But I guarantee you this, if you do not make Isogenics your primary focus, then
in that period, it might be only an hour a day, but in that hour a day, you are hour of power. And that's what you focus on, and you do the work every single day. And then in the time that you're working, you're probably thinking about Isogenics too and coming up with creative things and ways of doing more. But you become immersed in it. Doesn't mean you don't do your job. It just means that Isogenics is your primary vision.
Yeah. So really, really sit with that one tonight, because I just turned over to my Rach, and I was just like, holy moly. Because I've never been able to explain how we've been able to do it. We just said, you know what, we were desperate, we went for it, we ran with it, and we did it. We didn't know why or how. But it was every second of the day that wasn't work or family was focused on some sort of video, some sort of audio, some sort of personal development, some sort of connecting with someone, something, because that was the primary focus in our life to get us out of the situation we're in. Game changer.
Can I just add something to that, Greg?
Yeah, bud. Go for it, man.
That was unbelievable, by the way. And just to add on to the end of that, our subconscious mind is working 24 hours a day. So when you're asleep, when you're dreaming, when you're driving your car, your subconscious is constantly ticking. So if your primary focus is Isogenics, it's working for you 24 hours a day. You're going to have stuff start to come to you. Ideas are going to pop in your head. Different things you need to do, actions you need to take. Whereas if it's the other way around, if your primary is your job, or it might be something else, you're not going to have that clarity, the ideas, the actions to take, the people to contact. It ain't going to be there. And it's going to, your subconscious, like Greg just said, is just going to try and take you out of the game with that secondary focus. So for me, I can see like the last 2.5 years, Isogenics was not my primary focus. I wanted it to be so badly, but it wasn't. And I did nothing massive, like just unbelievable. So yeah, thanks, Greg.
And I think as well with that, Jared, is what to give you an analogy, guys. Remember, have you ever gone, you know what? I want to buy a beautiful new Jeep white with black wheels, right? That's pretty much me. So as soon as I said yes, that's the exact car I wanted. What did I see everywhere? Friggin' white Jeep with black wheels. I'm like, are you kidding me? Is there this many on the road? I thought it was the first. So that's your primary focus. Your subconscious mind is working 24/7.
For you.
For you, right? Make, what's that? The power of your subconscious mind. Awesome. Love it, Nina. Make ISA your primary focus. Make it your dreams. Make them come true. Wow, it was a game changer.
And this is just a decision that everyone has to make for themselves. All you have to do is just decide. That was one of the biggest things that I got out of the weekend is if you really want this, decide. And for me now, it's taking massive action towards what I want and letting nothing get in my way. Like I was in the shower this morning and I was just like, you know what? I'm going to do whatever it takes. I'm going to do whatever it takes. I do not care. And you got to want this as bad as you want oxygen. That's where I'm at. And it's taken me 3 years to get here.
And that's it, Jared. It's like 3 years. Doesn't matter when it turns up, guys. Some of you, it's like 3 days, some 3 years, some 30 years. Doesn't really matter. But the thing is like stay in the game long enough for the penny to drop. And make this primary because, wow, life can be so
There's
incredible.
nothing better than this industry.
And the last thing I wanted to touch on was far out. Like the first couple of hours of this first 2 days was just a joke. I was like, oh my God, this is so good. So network marketing, to start a business, there is no better way in the world, period. If you want to create time freedom, leverage, life of your dreams, there isn't a better business model in the world. And Eric said that he has debated this across the world and no one can stand up to him because of low startup costs. Everything's done for you. You literally have a digital franchise online. You have the products are shipped for you. All of your costs are done. Payment, you get paid every week. You don't have to worry about a thing. You don't even have to worry about getting the products to your customers. It's done for you. Everything is done for you. And the maximum buy-in is $750. Obviously, if you're in New Zealand, it's a little bit different. But I guarantee you guys, if you start talking slightly this way, which I've changed big time, 4 years in, and I've changed it over the last 2 weeks. If you say to someone, are you at all open to earning an extra income outside of what you're currently doing? And they say, yes, what is it? And you say, I've got a business opportunity that you can start for $750 and you get 30 days worth of nutrition for free and a 30-day money-back guarantee. The response from that has been mind-blowing. People are like, why wouldn't I? Yeah, that sounds great. But when you're going down the path of just forcing product towards people, you get that's too expensive. What's in it? What's in the shake? What's in this? So I'm just trying to explain to you that when I sat there and listened to Eric talk about sorry.
It's been sick all weekend.
Wow. Primary focus is try and get well.
No, it's still isogenics.
It is still isogenics. Oh my God. Fawn, if you can edit that bit, that'd be awesome. That'd be so good if you can edit that.
That's yummy.
God. So he said that more than ever, so people now over the age of 50 are 18% more open to an entrepreneur opportunity, okay? And people between 30 and 50 are 38% more open to entrepreneurial opportunities. He said the thing that is coming our way as with an avalanche is this: there will be no more jobs. Get that through your mind. Technology is taking over jobs. Granted, there's going to be jobs, no doubt. But the reality is that technology is crushing jobs. People are looking for a better way. They're looking for a solution. They're looking for something they can do online. They're so open to it now. Network marketing is not on trial anymore. Network marketing is the way. If you want to build a business, network marketing is it. Low startup costs, everything's absorbed. You do not have to worry about anything except marketing. Start sharing the opportunity to people. Your business will take off.
Greg, can I just say, I've been to quite a few Isogenics events over the years, and I've never gone to build a business, and they are amazing. But for me, the massive game changer when the light bulb really went on was going to a neutral event like that. It was just unbelievable. And we all know that he's only going to come over once a year, but I'm sure there's other guys out there in the industry that do similar stuff to him in Australia. So I think it's really important to get people to those neutral events as well, because not everyone likes jumping around, massaging each other and shouting Isogenics. And some people, you have to bring them in a different way. You know, they're not as extroverted. And when they come, it's really overwhelming to come to maybe an Isogenic celebration. They're like, wow. But those neutral events, I mean, that for me was just the game changer. The Isogenics events are amazing, but people have different mindsets. It just all opened up in front of me, the whole business side of it yesterday. I was just like, wow, it was just unreal.
Yeah. Great point, man. Awesome point.
And just one other thing that he said that's really important. He was talking about how lucky we are and how well we get paid. And it is a hard industry at the beginning. You know, you're underpaid for a little bit of time, then you're fairly paid. And if you stick at it, you'll be overpaid forever. And he said a lot of people say, yeah, but only 2 or 3% make it to there. And he said, yeah, only 2 or 3% of people do the work. So be in that 2 or 3%, be consistent, and you will be one of those overpaid people who have what you want, whether it's the freedom or the family time or whatever. So that was a massive takeaway for me. You know, if you want to be a dreamer, don't even bother. You know, if you want to make it, you got to be in that 2 or 3%, and you're only going to get there with consistency.
That's awesome, man. Thank you so much for that share. Brilliant. Hey, Rach, did you want to finish with anything? You had a couple of announcements.
Have you told them the exciting news?
No, we left it to you because we know you love support.
All right, everybody unmute. Who could get excited if I said we had the best trainer? Actually, I want a drum roll. Everyone. Who can guess? Not,
hang on, we didn't hear any of what you said.
I want you guys to guess who's coming to Celebration in February.
David Wood.
No. Yes, who's David? Next. Come on.
Tony Robbins.
Next. Eric Warray! So guys, the tickets for Eric Warray are $500, right? $500. And Isogenics want all of us to get him, and they want specialized Isogenics Eric Warray training. They love how he relates with the business, okay? And so they've got him coming. Now, if you don't have your tickets already, the cheapest that you'll be able to get them is $149 at SKO. I'm not meant to tell you, but you know that I love you, so I tell you all this stuff. Okay. I can also tell you that Fiji, there is a call tomorrow night, and we'll be doing a Facebook Live on Wednesday going through it all. If you're prepared to do the work, you could all go to Fiji, every single one of you. Greg, did you run through the numbers? Did you work it out? No, we'll do it.
I haven't gone through the numbers. There's actually, I went through the numbers, but I haven't.
Okay.
We'll go through it on Wednesday.
Yeah, so we're going to do a Facebook Live because we know that it's not for all of you, all right? And so we don't want to take up all of your time for this. But get excited about it. And we also want to tell you that we've got to supercharge your spring 30-day, challenge coming up that we'll put at the start of Fiji. But guys, what you need to do is just, it doesn't matter about these trips. They're amazing. It's so funny because people run so hard for a trip. If you ran that hard all the time, do you know you'd be all making Kylie Donaldson money? Like, you really would. But what we need to do now is get our lists together. Make sure you start contacting more people, planting those seeds and, really watering them so they're ready to enroll in a couple of weeks. And the only other thing that really comes to mind right now for me is we need to pump that healthy living page with before and afters, your stories. If you want that page to be used as a tool for enrolling in the next month or two, you need to show up. You need to share your story. You need to, be adding value so your prospects think that you're a great leader. Okay. And the other thing is the $25 off coupons, which are coming out in the boxes. All your new enrollments are getting $25 off coupons plus email $25 off coupons. Use them. We should be popping consultants everywhere. Okay. And if you don't want to use them, give them to me. I'll use them. There. That's it. Janice calls on. And we'll see you guys there.
Good work, guys. Everyone who went to Eric Bore, amazing. It's great to see you. And everyone who got on tonight's call, amazing. We love you guys. You're awesome. Let's do this. Primary versus secondary.
Thanks, everyone.
Janice call. See you there for those who want it.
Cheers, guys.
See you guys.